We're driving a 2020 Honda Civic. Coming up, I'm going to tell you how the Honda Civic lets me be an even lazier car reviewer. But first, information explosion! The 10th generation Honda Civic was introduced for the 2016 model year. That means it's getting old, aren't we all?
When it was first introduced, it seemed so fresh and exciting, and I couldn't believe such a popular selling, reasonably priced car was also appealingly styled.
Does it still have that appeal? Let's dig in. Interior! This is a long light, so let's just start talking about the interior.
I think it's super likable. I love this material that they chose for, this is a higher trim. So
this is the highest trim. It could get no higher. But not only does it have the look of a texture, it actually has a little bit of texture. This is the touring trim because we're fancy like that. A lot of soft material, soft upper parts of the door here. And they're hard in the back, but you know, if you're sitting in the back seat, you get what you deserve.
Whoa.
Needless free throttle acceleration, yeah. Wow. That was weird. Okay.
The only part of the interior that I think looks super dated is the infotainment system.
Yeah, in all trims except for the base one, which is like a 5-inch unit, they all get this 7-inch unit. And you're right, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto come standard, which I really like. The interface itself, you can do the things you need to do, but it lacks a little bit of grace.
I love the balance between physical buttons and touch screens, and they're laid out where you might expect.
It's almost like you absorbed, through osmosis, some of my disdain for Honda's ditching of the volume knobs, and they went back to a little bit more of a tactile feel.
A little bit.
Yeah, you got a little knob there, but
little.
The little knob still gets the job done. Interior storage, there are quite a few little nooks. There's a spot under here that actually is a little bit difficult to get to. There's a way to route your USB cable up from there because that's where the USB port is. So up through here. One of the maybe more spectacular parts of the interior is this center console. Sliding armrest, the cup holders that slide and you can remove them, coin slot area that slides forward and aft, and it's super deep. This is like somebody's opus. Like some interior designer is like, this will be my masterpiece, and indeed it is. If you go to the trunk, 15.1 cubic feet of space, which is stellar for a compact sedan. You've got the gooseneck hinges back there. It impedes slightly on interior space, but it helps keep costs down, so I give it a pass. And then I really like the fact that they've got rear seat releases in the back. I think that's pretty nifty.
Nifty. Aw, you officially became a dad.
Nearly 5 years in and I finally earned the label dad.
You finally adopted the dad thing now.
Pretty nice. These are leather trimmed seats because, again, touring trim.
I love the trim that is in the center.
Yeah, it's like it almost recalls your Sky years. The
Totally.
little, little check pattern. It's kind of fun.
These seats want to go skanky.
Yeah, it's not what it sounds like, youngsters. Back in the day, that was a style of dance. The olds called it skanking.
Never felt so old.
I think the seats are generally pretty comfortable, but even in the highest trim, they do not have adjustable lumbar support. And I think I could use a little more static lumbar. I'm radical that way.
Radical.
Rear window test. Armrest test. This surface is very padded, but there is this little divider here to make room for the sliding armrest. I wish I had a little bit more width, a flatter perch on which to place my elbow. And then the outboard is kind of padded, but not very. I'm going to give that 2 elbows to the middle position. Let's talk family friendliness. Item number 1, safety. The Honda Civic is 5 stars across the board. For installing the car seats back there, you may have noticed that the latch points are identified by a little button, but they're kind of hidden a little bit. It's like determining the sex of a bird. You have to like kind of really get in there to latch in the car seat. I say that like I've ever determined the sex of a bird. You sometimes note that I know a lot of weird things.
It's true.
I don't know why I know anything about that, but apparently that's a thing you do. One more car seat note, if you go to the top there for the tethers, you'll see that they're placed in line with the headrest. Does it go over the top? Do you go around the side? It's kind of weird. The back seats in the Honda Civic are crazy roomy. A rear-facing car seat would fit back there. Of course, being a sedan, the ingress for our daughter is super, super easy. And then price. From a family friendliness perspective, a few things make a family happier than not having to blow a massive wad of cash on their car.
Absolutely.
Yeah, base price is under $21,000, including destination charges. Now that's with the manual, and I know nobody on the planet drives a manual transmission anymore, but you can get a Honda Civic very inexpensively. And it'll hold its value really well over the time that you own it. So what do we think? Family friendly?
Absolutely.
Hardcore family friendly. It's a weird combination of words, isn't it?
It really is.
Have you subscribed to our channel yet? If you haven't subscribed to Micah Drives, please do. At 50,000 subs, I'm going to tell you a terrible dark secret about my hair. Woo! Style! So you were ogling the exterior of the Honda Civic, eyeing it up, looking it all over. What do you think?
I think it's so much more stylish than it should be.
There are not a lot of cars that you can really tell what they are in profile. I feel like I could, if I needed to identify a Civic, if all I had was the profile to look at. There are some neat body lines that you can see, especially if you have reflections to kind of show off specifically where those lines are. The thing I like about this one, you got the 18-inch wheels, which I think look good, and then there's a nice combination of a little bit of chrome and a little bit of black trim. So it's like just a little bit of flash, but like a little bit of restraint. I dig it. If you're curious what I am driving or flying between YouTube videos, follow me over on Instagram. Future Evie has put my handle down here. And follow Normal Evie if you'd like to see what our family is up to in motion. Off the cuff, do you know what kind of transmission is in this car?
I have no idea.
What if I start to accelerate? Any guesses?
Is it a CVT?
It is a CVT. Now, did you base that off of anything you're experiencing, or was that just a wild guess?
There seemed to be a delay between when you put your foot on the accelerator and when we began accelerating, and that seemed like a bad thing. And you, CVT bad thing, that bad thing.
I really like how you logicked yourself to the correct answer.
While we're stuck here, should you explain to me why there is a lag in a CVT?
They use two variable size pulleys to change ratios, and the engine needs to come up in its revs in order to make more power if you need to accelerate. It takes some time to change that ratio. It just takes time. Love and tenderness. One of the things that they do too is that they will emulate the gear changes of an automatic transmission to kind of like make it go, ah. It's to fool you into thinking you're driving something that's not different from what you already know.
Would it function any more efficiently if they just decided it was something completely new and acted in a completely different way?
That is exactly what they did when they first introduced them and people rejected them. It's like the early versions of The Matrix, where they thought the humans would love it, but then they realized that they didn't. So they had to go back to a different version that was actually worse. Have you seen The Matrix recently? In terms of pure power, the 1.5 liter turbocharged engine has plenty of scoot. Haven't used scoot in a review in a while, so I'll just stick with that. Yeah, oh, I'm reverting back to 1950s Micah. Let's see how she brakes all the way to a standstill. Can I get that super smooth, graceful, elegant, buttery? Yeah, that's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. Hey, look here. What do you see?
Oh, that's really cool.
That's Honda's lane watch system. So it shows you what's in your blind spot over the right shoulder whenever you use your turn signal. See, there's a truck right there. In practice, it's kind of hard to bring into your workflow when driving. I'm not sure when I meant to look at that. If I meant to like look at that first and then look over there, I think you can sweep back past it, I suppose, or you can just use your mirror.
Oh, yeah, that thing. That's old school.
Yeah, okay, boomer with your mirrors.
I I feel like we're making a lot of old school references too, with the Matrix, ska music. We're really stuck in the 90s.
I wonder if Third Eye Blind is still touring. Probably a state fair somewhere, huh? Are you in Third Eye Blind? Are you touring a state fair? Tell us in the comments. Ride quality is pretty good for a compact sedan. Overall, it's a nice package, but there is one attribute of the Honda Civic that I do not know how to reckon with. I'm confused by it, and it is both perplexing and delighting. I should have said that at the beginning, because that's a really good tease.
I know.
Watch my hands. The Honda Civic has one of the quickest steering ratios of any car I know of. Which is super weird because this is a value-priced compact sedan. Going over some train tracks, let's see how it feels. Pretty good. So it's bizarre, but oh god. You know, I was talking about how sporty the Honda Civic is to steer, and then naturally the Subaru STI with the fart cannon exhaust has pulled up next to me. I don't know why, it just always feels like I'm about to get into some sort of Fast and Furious race.
It really does.
Everybody drinking the guy in the background. Do you know how steering ratio works? Basically, it's how many times do you have to rotate the steering wheel in order to get a certain amount of degrees of steering change from the front tires, right? Do you know the C8 Corvette has a 15.7 to 1 ratio? The Corvette has a slower steering ratio than the Honda Civic.
Wow.
It's weird. I'm sure there's a lot of good reasons for that. For example, stability at very high speeds would be important. But with a car that travels at this speed, what you can do is you can make the steering very, very quick, and you have this like very lively, energetic feel. And look how little I have to move my hand.
Oh.
Sorry about the lighting angle. I'll turn around. In fact, you know what? Let me do a little U-turn right here in a safe spot.
Take advantage of
Yeah,
that.
take advantage of that quick steering. Boop. See that?
Nice.
Look how little steering that takes.
That's nutty.
So it doesn't mean the car feels skittish or jumpy when you're driving. It just feels good. Speaking of feeling good, let's get you behind the wheel and see how you feel driving the Honda Civic. And we've been transported to a parking lot pointed right at a Hooters. Naturally, go ahead and take a right here. What's that feel like?
It feels zippy.
Yeah, we've got like a little bit of open space here. Why don't you go around this corner with a little bit of speed? Yeah. Ooh. And let's try a good U-turn opportunity.
Yes, definitely.
A U-opportunity. Yeah, you feel that though? Like very quick from lock to lock?
Normally I don't notice enough about driving a car to have a comment, but this feels nice.
Ironically, we have just landed next to the Honda Center.
It like went home.
It's like salmon. And this is how we make new Civics.
Oh wow, this is about to get real.
Mommy's car says a Honda too, but not the Civic.
Do you remember what Mommy's Honda is called?
A Honda Civic.
That is
That's
correct.
Right.
And
good job.
But they're also Honda.
they are both Hondas. That is correct, my sweet. I'm proud of you. Early high five. Yeah.
I feel like I have a little bit of a hard time with that pillar right over my shoulder. So I'd probably rely on my mirrors more, or the, what is that feature called?
It's called Lane Watch.
I would definitely use lane watch or my mirrors on that side.
Well, it doesn't exist on that side, so you go to...
All right. I'm taking you with me.
You see, you think she's sweet, and then you just gotta know her better.
Maybe I'm both.
Yeah, it's like a good sack of nuts. It's both sweet and spicy.
You know, it's not a good idea to call somebody who you think is spicy nuts.
Okay, overall, how you feeling as a Civic driver?
I could see myself as a Civic driver. There's a lot of appeal here.
You've reached appeal status. Let me get back in the driver's seat. Hey, that was some good Honda Civic driving. Emotion factor. I think there is an emotion factor to it.
Honestly, I think in a way it's a victim of its own success. Like, if I didn't see them so often, I would be really excited to see one because it fairly stylish for what it is.
If it's your first car, or this is like something that you purchased with your own money, you could feel pride in it. I think it has a strong style component, and then you couple that with the fact that it's got this absurdly fast steering ratio. In fact, I think this is one of those cars, I use the word, and I think people would describe it as zippy. Like, not technically fast, but fun. Whee! Zippy, zippy, zippy!
That's actually my favorite category of car that you just nailed that I didn't know what it was called.
Zippy.
Yeah,
My lady likes a zippy car.
I don't want to actually go fast. I just want to feel like I am at a sensible speed.
Yep, if you're feeling a zippy emotion and you'd like to buy a Honda Civic of your own, check the Kelley Blue Book listing link in the description. Remarks! We're driving the touring trim. What does that get you? It gets you these sports pedals down there, a power passenger seat, embedded navigation, and a fancier audio system that I think sounds a little bit trebly. I actually had to turn it down in the settings. I would happily give up all that stuff and save $2,700 and just get the EXL trim, because it still has leather trim seats. Honda sensing comes standard on every Honda Civic, and I think it is such a cool system. We've got our full speed adaptive cruise control working, and let's see if it successfully keeps me from plowing into the back of this orange Dodge Dart. Oh, we're slowing down. My foot's not on the brake, but it is covering it. We are coming to a complete stop. We also have lane keeping assist. It doesn't do the pinball back across the other side, bumper bowling type thing. Let's try it out right here. So I'm gonna be lazy and deviate to the right. Look, just pulls me right back. So we're getting into the obscure stuff, but if you look at the fuel filler, you don't have to pull push a button or anything in the cabin to release it. You just push it like you would on like a proper high-end car.
That's so nice.
When I see like an actual lever, like an actual release now, I'm like, ugh, was this built in the 90s? So I like that there's that door, and I also like that there is a capless fuel filler. You can save precious seconds that you can then reapply to seeing what's happening on your phone. Have you followed us on Instagram yet? Be sure to. Two more fuel notes. Regular fuel will get the job done even though it's a turbocharged engine, so you don't have to pay for premium. And then fuel efficiency is worse on the touring trim than it is on the EX and the EXL, even though it has the exact same powertrain. So again, save $2,700, get the EXL, and you get better fuel economy as well. One more transmission note, you can get a manual transmission in the base LX or the sports trim. I think it's neat that they offer it. And that's one of the things I really like about the Honda Civic. There are so many versions of the Civic. So you've got the sedan, there's a coupe, you've got the hatchback, there's the SI, which is the sportier one, a little more than 200 horsepower. Then you've got the Type R, which is the really fast one. There are a ton of variations. It's like the Super Duty pickup truck of compact sedans. Or compact cars, there is a variant for whatever it is you want to do. Which would you choose?
The Type R looks the most ridiculous, so I think I'd have to pick that, even though I don't know if I want to go as fast as it goes.
And they've got an absurd yellow for 2021, sweetie pie. And it's a hatchback. You can justify it just based on pragmatism. Is there anything we've missed? If so, please tell us in the comment section. Synopsis! At the beginning of the video, I teased that I was going to tell you how the Honda Civic lets me be a lazier car reviewer. When people ask me like, oh, I'm in the market for a new car, what should I buy? I'll just say, go get a Honda Civic. And the reason why is because there's a very, very high potential for success, very, very low potential for failure, and I don't want to have people complaining at me. The Honda Civic is the Zoom video chat functionality of cars. And I'm like, just use Zoom. It's free, and just sign up and it's easy.
Yeah, they're not going to have a problem with it.
It's just so easy. I have had those conversations. If I've had those conversations with you, it's not personal. It just works so well is the thing, and it's so cost effective.
Yes. So this will do two things. It will make everyone that you've had a really generic answer from feel bad. And everyone you've taken the time to craft a special answer to feel a little more special.
Yeah, I just cut the middle out.
Yeah.
Basically, everybody's gonna love me or hate me. Hey, if you haven't subscribed to Micah Drives, please do. At 100,000 subs, I'm gonna review a windowless white van. Please follow us on Instagram if you want to see what I'm driving or flying between YouTube videos or what the family's up to. Here we are. Oh, one last note. New Civic has to be coming soon, so just keep that in mind if you're going to buy this one.
Ooh, that'll be the one complaint.
You've poked a hole in my whole thing.
Sir, I didn't
What am
mean
I
to
going to
poke a
recommend
hole in your
now?
hole.
Oh, my thing, my thing. Despite poking a hole in my lazy recommendation strategy, sweetie, would you like a high five?
Sure.
You back there? You too. Come get your high five.